Okay, let's try this again. So I keep getting asked what's the difference between guardianships versus conservatorships, and what is the difference in how they are done, and what is the difference? So the difference is guardianships, we are more, as a guardian, you make more of the medical decisions, the mental health decisions. You fill out a lot of the Medicaid, Medicare paperwork. Um, you have to visit clients once every 3 months. Um, as a guardian, I've done funeral planning. But that depends on the different types of guardianship. I mean, if they've got enough money, you can do pre-planned funerals, which helps in the long run. So I've done, as a guardian, I've planned funerals. I have done a couple of divorces. Um, I go to, if they get themselves in trouble, I have to go to court for that as well. And even though sometimes I don't understand all of the legal mumble jumble in criminal court, I still have to be there and talk with the lawyers and help my client figure out what's in their best interest. And as for a conservator is somebody that handles all the bank accounts, all of the Social Security that comes in, pensions, um, anything extra. They make sure that all the bills get paid. Um, sometimes you get guardian and conservator with somebody. Sometimes you just, like a developmentally disabled person, their guardianship is different. Um, so, but also that's how guardianship and conservatorship work. Um, we just keep all their income and assets together, and if we can and it's possible, we will invest it. Like our developmentally disabled people, we will get them a special needs trust, because Michigan has special needs trust. It's called a My Able account. So if their assets are over the amount, we can put money into the My Able account. It doesn't count against their Medicaid or food stamps. Special needs trust get done by an attorney, and we just are trustees over that, and we make sure that um, that is spent on above and beyond um, items that they may need. And so, you know, trying to just break down the differences in, both guardianship and conservator, you are advocating for people. I did have a client, when we got put in place, the courts couldn't even find the client, because the guardian, who was the daughter, didn't change the address with the courts. And so that's kind of a problem. When you are a guardian, you need to change their address with the court so they know where that person is. Um, so that's one of the responsibilities of being a guardian. When you're a guardian, you have to fill out court paperwork called the annual condition. Depending on which type of guardianship it is, legally incapacitated an adult, there's their paperwork's a little bit harder, where you have to go to the places, find out their doctor's appointments, who they've seen for mental health treatment. Um, and you have to put down all of those appointments. You have to write how many times you've seen them, what you've seen them for, and what kinds of activities you've done for them. Developmentally disabled clients' annual paperwork is a little bit easier, because we don't always need all of the medical appointments for them. Um, Also, with guardianship, you are responsible for fighting the placement, like we are doing right now. And the person we got guardianship and conservatorship of on Friday at 1:45, I've already had calls from the nursing home and the adult protective service worker, and it's hard to get people to understand that we have lives too. We've got things we've got to do as well. Um, so I have to be in person for that one. Not happening today. I'm kind of busy today. I'll go down there tomorrow and I'll sign the paperwork and our client can go there. So now I'm waiting on them to call me back. So as a conservator, when you first get somebody, you have to fill out an inventory. And an inventory is every asset that this person owns, whether it's a house, and we've got to put a value on that. A car, we've got to put a value on that. So we Kelly Blue Book that. That is a lot of research and figuring out if they've got pensions, if they've got life insurance policies, what it is that they own, how much what type of a value do we put on that person's stuff. So that's pretty interesting as well. I did figure out our numbers and how many we have of each person. So right now we have 54 clients that we just strictly do guardianship with. Well, some of them have conservatorship along with it. That way the courts can keep track of the finances and the assets. After a year, conservators have to do an annual accounting. That's where you have to prove where all the money was spent, how much was put on rent, how much money did they bring in, how much, if they've got investments, how much were those investments worth. If you sold a house, you've got to put that on that paperwork. And your top number, your bottom number always has to end with the bottom number. The paperwork can be very confusing, and I remember when I first started, I had a really hard time understanding the paperwork. That seemed to be the hardest thing. So those are things you need to be mindful of when you take on a whole bunch of clients. You still have to get your annual paperwork done for the courts, whether you're a guardian or a conservator. So anyways, that's what I got today. Conservatorships, we have about 8 that we're just strictly conservators of. I didn't add the number that, if they're guardian conservator, because I figured that number is the same, because you can only get paid for one, either or. You can't accept money from both. We have payee. We're a payee for 31 people. That's where we just take care of their Social Security and we make sure their bills are paid and we do the Social Security paperwork. We help with Medicaid paperwork. But in order to be with Social Security, you have to become a nonprofit organization to be an organization with Social Security so that you can earn $57 a month to get paid to do payee ships and pay people's bills. So if you're a conservator or guardian or a payee and you are not an organization with Social Security, don't take that money. You're going to get stuck paying it back. So in order to be an organization with Social Security, you have to be a nonprofit, a 501c3. So we are one of those, so then we can take on the payees. But anyways, I just wanted to share these different things that we do and talk about, a little bit about the differences between guardians and conservators and what keeps them separate. All right. Please feel free to ask questions. join us for another talk, please like and share my video and message us if you'd like. Thank you. Bye.